What's up, YouTube? This is Death Syndic here with a card discussion with you for you guys. Abyss Dweller. Basically, I'm going to talk about rulings rather than my personal opinion of the card because I feel that a lot of players are messing up with this card, and I just want to clarify some rulings on this. So here we go. Abyss Dweller. It is 1700 attack points, 1400 defense points. It's a water sea serpent, rank 4. Requires 2 level 4 monsters, so it's good for the simple fact that it is splashable, so to speak, since it's a water. No pun intended. Whatever. Moving on. Alright. It's 1700, so it's small. Leviair can run over it, which is shitty. But it gains 500 attack points if the material, if at least one of the materials is a water. So it becomes 2200 instantly if you're playing with Atlanteans, or if you're like playing with windups and you overlay with a shark, and then it's 2200. Big whoop. Okay, it's a medium-sized monster now. Alright, but its good effect is that on either player's turn, you can detach, and your opponent cannot activate effects from the graveyard for that turn. It's a quick effect, which is really good. However, people are really not reading specifically on the card rulings. Alright, on what the card specifically says, like word for word, and they're mixing up rulings. So I'm gonna give you guys a really weird situation that if you ever did this, I'm probably going to have to like kill your parents because they raised a stupid child. I'm sorry. You smash and ground a Sanyan. Yeah, why the fuck would you smash and ground a Sanyan? Alright. Then your opponent activates the effect of Sanyan. Now, I don't understand why you'd let this happen this way, but, let's go along with it. So, in response to the activation of Sanyan's effect, you chain Abyss Dweller, detaching whatever. Now, what happens when you do this? Well, Sanyan resolves. Well, Abyss Dweller resolves first, and then Sangan resolves. Why does this happen? Because if you read Abyss Dweller does not negate the activation of effects. It does not say that. Nowhere on the card does it say that. Read everything, like, clearly when you read a card, for one thing. So, taking this into account, this is a little bit trickier in similar situations. When a monster effect in the graveyard is activated and you chain Abyss Dweller, the monster effect is already active, so if you chaining Abyss Dweller does nothing to stop the activation of that effect, because it's already active. You guys are in resolution now. Similarly, if Abyss Dweller is in chain link 1, and then you chain graveyard monster effects, that works because Abyss Dweller hasn't resolved. So you can still activate your effects. In this way, it is similar to how Deprison is with Safe Zone. It doesn't matter where in the chain Abyss Dweller is, you can't stop any of the effects that is happening along that chain link. In full resolution is when it would really be, you're fucked. And to bring up a situation, we're going to talk about Megalo. So, for one thing, let me get this clear for everyone. A monster effect that summons itself from the hand has to reveal itself. If you don't believe me, people reveal for Shark because you have to reveal for Shark because it's a monster effect that summons itself from the hand. Now, you might be thinking, well, I don't have to reveal for Blackluster Soldier, I don't have to reveal for Chaos Sorcerer, I don't have to reveal for Darkness Metal. Now, why don't you have to reveal for those monsters? Because they are summoning conditions, not effects to summon. So, there you go. So, you reveal for Megalo, and you discard the 2 water monsters as a cost. You chain Abyss Dweller. Now, what happens is that Abyss Dweller will resolve, no problem. Megalo will resolve summoning itself. At that point, the monsters you discarded activate in resolution to the chain link. Now, this happens because the discarded monsters can't intercept like the chain link. Like discard effects that happen when they're discarded by cost don't happen in that same chain link. They happen in resolution of the chain link. So in normal circumstances, if you're not chaining to Megalo, the resolution would be Megalo summon, and then the effect of your discarded water monsters will activate. In this situation, Abyss Dweller will stop the Mermail thing, or not the 1800 searcher. I can't remember his name. You know what I'm talking about. From adding any sea serpent to hand, because that card is busted. It just searches out Mulan Glacial like it ain't nothing. Like, what the hell? So in that kind of situation, you can chain Abyss Dweller, and it will shut down your opponent. In other situations, no. If you chain freaking Abyss Dweller to Card Trooper, you're an idiot, because Card Trooper still lets you draw and stuff. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Also, another situation, and this is really kind of annoying because I see this happening a lot. Abyss Dweller versus Insectors. Now a lot of people might be thinking this card is really amazing because it's good against Insectors. However, this is not the case. Hornet activates on the field and resolves in the graveyard. Hornet does not activate in the graveyard, which means that Abyss Dweller gets crapped on by Insectors, so don't summon it against Insectors. If you do, you probably deserve to lose. I'm sorry. So that was my card discussion. Abyss Dweller is indeed a very good card for going against Atlanteans and other decks that use a lot of graveyard tooling effects that activate within the graveyard. It's a quick effect that can be activated on either player's turn, but be wary if your opponent is able to chain their monster effect to Abyss Dweller. They can, or they definitely will if they are able to, if they can, and that will allow their effect to definitely go off. So I would recommend activating Abyss Dweller's effect in draw phase or standby phase, or during end phase, phases in which they can't. Well, if they can chain it, then it probably doesn't matter. Just try to find a way to activate Abyss Dweller's effect where they can't chain into it. Otherwise, an Abyss Dweller is probably one of the more useless cards ever, because their effect is already the effect that you would have stopped has already resolved, and it's like, why? So that was my card discussion. Please comment, rate, subscribe if you would like more of this kind of thing, because I have no time. I have all the time in the world. I don't do anything else except for sit on the computer, get on DN, and go to work and go to school, and I have no life outside of Yugioh. It's pretty bad. So peace, YouTube.